What's going on YouTube? Got another knife review here for you. Today we're going to be looking at the custom Pohan Leu Bluephin Flipper. So Pohan Leu is a knife maker out of New Mexico and infamous for his Scandi grind knives. So you can see here there is no bevel, secondary bevel for an edge. You could do one, you can make one very easily, but what this Scandi grind allows for is ultra sharpness. This zero grind, if you will, down to the tip is extremely sharp. So it makes for an incredible slicer, even though up here it is completely flat. So this blade here runs all the way up until this grind begins. So this particular bluefin is, I believe, S35 VN. I could be wrong. It might be CPM 154, and it runs on IKBS pivot system. Right there, you can see his licensing right there for IKBS. And then inside, you've got an internal track right here. So it's got an internal stop pin right there that runs along the blade this way. Right there you see Pohan's Leu, spells it L-E-U, his logo right there. I don't really know too much about Pohan Leu other than from what I've been reading on the forums. Just a really great knife maker and just infamous for his incredibly sharp blades that he makes. So I'm just going to kind of give my little overview impression. I have carried this knife, haven't used it that much, just because of opportunity. I do plan to. I think I really do like this knife. It's a good size. It's actually pretty big. It's a I think it actually might just be a 4-inch blade. But just a really quick size comparison right here. Here's the Farid Mare. I brought this one out just because it's such a beast, and kind of similar styles. Obviously the Farid is a little bit more of like a Bowie shape, and then the Pohan Leu's got the bluefin has this kind of somewhat modified tanto, if you will. Very hard tip coming up this way. And then here's a Sebenza. There's the El Patron from Jeremy Robertson, Calibre Cutlery. And then this is a Hinder XM24 with my TI scale, frag scale on there. So just a quick size comparison. So yeah, about a 4-inch blade from what I'm seeing. Could be a little bit more from blade to tip, from blade to the end of the handle right there. But again, this is a full titanium design. He does a lot of intricate designs, from lightning strike carbon fiber to titanium bolsters to anodizing and whatnot. And yeah, so Pohan's a very talented knife maker. You see the centering right there is pretty much spot on perfect. There's the pocket clip, very simple design. Lockup flips out extremely fast. Lockup is about 40 to 50%. Actually, maybe about 55 to 55% right there. So this one's obviously got a very deep stone wash on here, so it definitely covers wear extremely well. For what this knife is, it weighs in at I just weighed it, 7.3 ounces, I believe. And the blade stock is 3.5 millimeters or 1.37 inches. So that's about the same blade stock as a paramilitary 2 from what I had researched. So it feels a lot thicker, but yeah, I just took the calipers to it. In terms of how it feels in pocket, it looks huge, but in the pocket it's actually very comfortable because of how thin this whole knife is all together. It's actually thinner than the Sebenza. Well, actually with the yeah, with the inlays in there. Let me see if I can line this up. There you go. You can see actually, you know, I think the Sebenza is actually thicker, you know, altogether than the Pohan Leu, than the Bluefin. So compared to, say, El Patron, Patron's definitely thicker. It's got thicker titanium scales and a beefier blade as well. Yeah, as you compare the El Patron blade stock to the Bluefin. And then compared to the Hinderer, I mean, the Hinderer is no comparison, just, you know, because how beefy the titanium stocks are. And then I believe the titanium, or I believe the blade stock on the Hinderer is 0.187 inches, if I'm not mistaken. So there's your size comparison right there. So carries remarkably well in the pocket, sits this low in the pocket as well. And so, you know, this is a great knife. In terms of construction, it's just this pivot screw right here, this internal stop pin. This one in particular has got 4 screws going into a carbon fiber backspacer. That's not G10, it's actually carbon fiber. I've actually taken this one apart to kind of clean it up, and I adjusted the lock bar ever so slightly just to, yeah, get rid of any kind of trace of lock rock, and now this one is ridiculously smooth. It's perfect detent now, perfect lockup, absolutely no lock rock whatsoever side to side. It's perfect the way it's tuned up right now. So very happy with this knife, actually. I'm thinking that this would be a keeper, and eventually I think the one issue, you know, with the Scandi grind is just the sharpening. You know, if I'm not mistaken, this, I mean, you can strop it, but you know, if you take stones to it, you can't really stick, you know, to this curve right here. This is belt sharpened. And so, you know, once you take stone to it, you're most likely going to put a secondary bevel, which isn't necessarily bad. The only concern that I have, you know, with something like this is, you know, how obtuse this angle right here will eventually get, you know, if you continue to sharpen. But, you know, you're talking about quite a long time. Maybe eventually over time you can send it back to Pohan and he can put a new grind on there, or maybe even like someone like Tom Crine, and he could just put like a ridiculous edge on here. As it stands with the Scandi grind, let me see if I can find some paper here real quick. But, you know, you can see how, I mean, this thing just glides through paper, and, you know, due to slight little, you know, kinks in the, you know, in the blade, that's where it'll kind of, you know, as you're slicing it, you know, will kind of, well, if you do a slow cut, it's going to be perfect. But, you know, the fast cuts, I had little bit, you know, little kinks as it was slicing through, but not a big deal. Eventually, like I'm saying, I'll probably sharpen it. You know, overall, it's a huge knife, but, you know, because it's thin enough and it fits in the pocket well enough, it's actually a good carry knife for sure. And so, one other thing, maybe a slight detraction from the knife is the jimping. This is obviously just, you know, maybe, I don't know if it's water jet or whatnot, but then once it's cut off, you know, here, the jimping is so aggressive. It's not smooth down whatsoever. I don't know if I'm you know, ballsy enough to smooth it down myself or whatnot, but it really just tears into your skin. So I would prefer, you know, a jimping that's not, you know, quite as aggressive right here. Other than that, ergonomically, it's extremely comfortable in hand for sure. So I really like this knife. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's the Pohan Leu Bluephin Flipper, Bluephin. If you look at it, I don't know, it kind of looks like a fish. But yeah. Anyway, so that's my overview of the Pohan Leu Bluephin Flipper. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next vid. Take care. Bye.